Welcome students. This session is for BS second year English Literature paper first, and in this session we'll continue with the poem by Robert Browning, Rabbi Ben Ezra. Let's have a recap of previous session before we start with the text. The poem was published in the volume Dramatis Personae in 1864. It gives us his philosophy of life. So we come to know in this poem Jewish philosophy of life. Old age is the best period of life for which youth, the first period of life, has been made. So both are in continuation. One cannot separate youth age and old age. Youth age is made as a first period of life to reach to the best period of life, that is old age. Man's life is a whole, youth and old age together. So one should analyze life, one should interpret life as a whole, where youth and old age, they blend together. It is not youth alone with its passion and energy, nor old age with spirituality, but a blend of the two together. So writer here says that in youth age one has a lot of passion and energy, and old age is about spirituality, but they cannot be separated from each other. Rather, one's life is a blend of both, that is, energy, passion, and spirituality. He stresses that age is where the best of life is realized, whereas youth shows but half. As I said in my previous session, that Rabbi Ben Ezra states that youth is just half knowledge about one's life. The best of life is realized only when one reaches old age. He acknowledges that youth lacks insight into life, since it's characteristically so concerned with living in the moment that it is unable to consider the deeper questions. Youth age is basically so much involved in living in the moment, in the pleasures of life, that it hardly has any sort of an insight into life for the deeper questions, that why are they here in this world and what is the meaning of their life. These questions are not realized when one is in his youth age. Though youth will fade, what replaces it is the wisdom and insight of age. And we know that youth fades away very quickly. And what replaces youth age is the wisdom and insight of old age, which recognizes that pain is a part of life, but which learns to appreciate joy more because of the pain. And we come to know only when one advances in life, we know that pain is also a part of life, and it is only because of pain we are able to appreciate what joy is. Be our joys 3 parts pain, because further in the stanzas we know that Rabbi Ben Ezra says that our life is full of 3 parts pain and 1 part joy. Poor want of life indeed, were man but formed to feed on joy, to solely seek and find and feast. Such feasting ended, then as sure an end to men, irks care the cropful bird, frets doubt the more-cram beast. Now here the narrator, that is Rabbi Ben Ezra, he says that poor want of life indeed. That's a poor boasting of life. This is a mere boasting of life. If man, we as human beings, we were framed only to feed. And here he shows that somewhere human beings are different from animal and birds. But if human beings feed on joy, if we keep on searching only for bodily pleasures, or to solely seek and find and feast, if we spend our whole life only in the physical pleasures of life, such feasting ended. And when such pleasures, they come to an end, then as sure as end to men. And then we feel as if our life has also ended. But he says this is not like this. Human beings are quite different from birds and animals, because the basic work of birds and animals is to fill their stomach. But he says human life has a higher purpose, and it's not just body pleasures define what human life is. And here he compares human life to birds and beasts, and he says that irks care the crop-full bird. He says birds hardly care about anything if their stomach is full. Frets doubt the more-cram beast. He says even animals frets. When they are more-cram beast, that is when their stomach is full, they hardly care about anything. But man is, in his opinion, quite a different formation of God, and he says that man should not spend his life only in physical pleasures. Rather, he should strive for higher purposes of life. Rejoice, we are allied to that which doth provide. And here he says that we as human beings should be very happy because we are allied, we are near to God. And God, it provides us everything and not partake. God does not take anything from us, effect and not receive. God is the one who gives us everything and he does not receive anything from us. A spark disturbs our clod. And at times we feel that this heavenly light, this blessing of God, somewhere it disturbs our life. Nearer we hold of God. But when any such disturbance comes, we should feel that God is holding us more near to Him, who gives than of His tribes that take. I must believe. He says, I do believe in this thing, that God is just the giver, and He hardly takes anything from the tribes, that is, from we as human beings. Then welcome each rebuff that turns earth's smoothness rough. He says, we as human beings, we should welcome all the sadness that is given to us, that turns earth's smoothness rough, even if our life, a path of life becomes rough and it is not smooth, then also we should welcome all the rough patches of our life. Each sting that bids nor sit nor stand but go. He says all the pains, all the forces of the sad forces which we face in our life, they do not ask us to sit. Rather, we should keep on moving ahead in our life. Be our joys 3 parts pain. He says even if our life is full of pain, 3 parts it's pain and joy is just about 1 part, but still we should not sit. We should not feel absolutely let down by these things, but we should stand and go. That means we should keep on walking ahead in life. Strive. We should learn to struggle and hold cheap the strain. We should not mind all this suffering which is given to us. Learn. Rather, our duty is to learn from all these sufferings, nor count the pang. He says one should not give any importance to the pain that we receive in life. Dare. Rather, we should be very courageous. Never grudge the throw. He says that we should not become disheartened by whatever the pain is given to us. So our human life is to be courageous, is to stand and to struggle rather than to feel disheartened. Now let's analyze these 3 stanzas. Man is distant from the beast. So here Ravi Ben Ezra has said that there's a lot of difference between human beings and animals. He has intelligence which separates him from the animals. But if he wastes his life by simply running after pleasure, what is there to boast about? He says one should not keep on running only about the physical pleasures, enjoyments of life, and there's nothing to boast about life. What separates him from animal that only care for food? He says there's a difference between man and animal because animals only care about food, but human beings have higher purposes in life. Once they've eaten as much as they can, they have no other care in the world. And that's the difference between human and animal life. Animals, once they have eaten, they hardly have any care in the world. Man is not like that. Man is not like animals that worry only about food. He is nearer to God because of his intelligence, his mind. So God has given human beings intelligence and mind to think about the purposes of life. Therefore, have a goal in life and try to achieve it. Each rebuff or failure should be welcome because it should make us work harder. He says one should not sit down and feel disheartened if one faces any rebuff or failure in life. Rather, we should learn from the failures and try to work harder. Joy is made up of 3 parts pain, the striving, the hard labor we put in to achieve our goals. This is human life about, that our life is more made up of pain than joy, and we should put a lot of hard labor to achieve our desired goals. Now comes the paradox. Does life succeed when it fails? Aspiration counts much more than achievement. If you have a goal, you should work hard to achieve it. And here there's a contradiction over here, that do we call life successful when it fails? But he says that aspiration or feelings or desires are more important than what you have achieved. If you have goal, you should work hard to achieve it. It's all about the process, it's all about the hard work that matters. And whether one fails or one succeeds, it does not matter with the thing that a person has achieved, rather, it all depends upon his intentions and hard work. We'll continue with the poem in my next session. Thank you.